Malika here from Malika Semper Astrology, and I want to talk Neptune this week with you guys. There are some major Neptunian events coming in that I want you guys to take note of. So, the first thing is that today, yes, I think it's today, transiting Neptune finally goes direct again. So, transiting Neptune is at the very last degree of Pisces. Now, I want you guys to pay extra attention if you're a Neptunian type of person. What this means is that if you have a strong Neptune in your chart, what that means is that if you have Neptune maybe on top of your sun, hi, Neptune on top of your moon, Neptune on top of your rising sign, even Neptune in your first house. These are strong signatures of Neptune. Neptune conjunct your midheaven, even. I would add that one in as well. Paying attention to Neptune is super important. So today, Neptune goes direct, and it's at the very last degree of Pisces. So Neptune is at 29 degrees of Pisces today. And for the last, I don't know, 12 years, I believe it was, Neptune has been in its home sign of Pisces. And it was very dreamy in there. If we think about what happened collectively, generationally, Neptune is a generational planet. Um, we had we had astrology really come to the forefront. We had like medicinal ceremonies coming to the forefront. We had increase or a rise in yoga. It's all very Neptunian sort of conversations. It's spirituality. It's the inner world. It's looking at the mystical and the magical and occult-like topics. Right. So we had all these things coming in when Neptune was in Pisces, and Neptune is about to move into Aries in 2026, and he will stay there until the year 2039. That is a long time of Neptune being in Aries. And it truly is this wake up that's happening. It really is like a wake up call, you can call it that, because Neptune was in just such a dreamy, floaty, ascension related sign. My mother is calling. I will call her back. Um, and now Neptune, which is very mystical, magical, floaty, dreamy, the other realms, foggy, is moving into this very direct, very physical, very here I am, I know what I want, and I know what I'm going after sign of Aries. So, how do these two mesh and how do these two merge, right? As part of the question that comes in. So, Neptune comes in and Aries says, I am. So essentially, this I am energy takes on a Neptune type of feel to it, right? And so in these next 12, 13, 14 years, it really is this recognizing who you are and what you want to be as far as like your inner world, your private life, your spirituality. All of that stuff becomes very real and very manifest. Because when Neptune was in Pisces, you couldn't quite grab onto things. Everything was quite elusive. But when you put Neptune in Aries, it suddenly becomes solid. Neptune dissolves boundaries. Neptune is anything but solidity, right? And now we have this ability to grab onto Neptune and actually do something with it. Aries is the sign of charging ahead, going after what you want, going after your goals, looking at your desires and claiming them without asking for permission, just grabbing onto them. And so all these Neptunian things, love, compassion, empathy, it takes on a very courageous sort of energy. And so collectively, we are all going to feel this, right? Because it is a generational sort of planet. And what can we do with Neptune and Aries? Now, the shadow side is that we get really so think of Aries as like the god of war, the warrior, the fighter, the one who just reacts, takes risks, and pays the consequences later. With Neptune coming in very dreamy, very wishy-washy, the shadow side is that we just act and we do things without a lot of forethought because there's this cloud of Neptune over us and we can't quite see clearly. So there is this pausing that needs to happen, which is really hard to pause in Aries. But when we bring in the mindfulness of it all, right? When we bring in the mindfulness and we recognize that we can pause and count to 10. Aries doesn't always have to jump in and react, but that takes work, and it takes extra work when Neptune is in Aries. So, there is a very important part of this where we are doing some major, major, major inner work when Neptune is in Aries. Collectively, we might see those people in power, the ones who have like uh, just the power, the empowerment, the bosses, the leaders, those type of people just reacting, right? And that can be not the best thing in the world. But as an individual, how can we bring peace to this world? How can we, sort of bring love and let it flow out into the external? As the leaders are just reacting when Neptune is in Aries. And we work on the self. We bring it back to the inner world. We bring it back to the inner plane and everything that is personal to us, right? It's a really important reminder. And so we rise up because Aries is here to rise up and be in our face, but we rise up with Neptune. So we rise up with love, unconditional love at its finest. We rise up with spirituality. We do something, we bring it to the forefront. We bring love to the forefront, compassion, empathy, spirituality to the forefront and use it and do something with it, which is what Aries is really good at. Back when Neptune was in Pisces, we couldn't quite grab onto it, like I said. We thought all the things and we dreamed all the things, and now we can actually birth them into existence, right? So it's a little bit of a funky placement. Neptune is not innately built for Aries energy because Neptune is so forgiving and there's a sweetness and there's a dreaminess, and Aries is all about action and assertion and sometimes anger and get it done already. And so when we combine these two, we really have to just take a pause and figure out how to blend them together. So, you guys, that's what's coming in. We are in the very last part of Neptune and Aries at the 29th degree. So there is a looking back and recognizing all the wisdom that we have learned through the act of Neptune and Pisces, the way that we really leaned into the worlds that we cannot see, the way that we really leaned into the spirituality of it all, right? So not taking that for granted and being quite reverent to these things that we lean in on and that we get guidance from, even though we can't tangibly touch them. Thank you for that world. Thank you for that realm. And we'll be here for a while. I think Neptune moves into Aries, I want to say the end of January 2026. Okay, you guys, thanks for watching. Oh, I have an announcement before I go. You guys, I made something really special for you guys. I put together 2026 forecasts for each individual sign. So there is going to be like a 30-minute video for you guys, Aries, and how your 2026 will most likely unfold. There will be a 30-minute video for you, Taurus, and how your 2026 will unfold. So for each sign, I made a forecast video. Those will be ready probably by next week. So tune back in by next week. Click the little bell so that you guys get notifications for when they are here and ready to be watched so that you guys can map out your 2026 for yourselves. Okay, thanks for watching, you guys. Take care.